welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A, but it's going to be focused around high school. Everything high school, like exams and friendships and studying and just everything. I recently asked you guys on Facebook to send me a bunch of questions on Tumblr, and I actually got a lot more than I expected, so I can't wait to get into this and help answer your questions. So the first question is actually quite a big one. And it says, "Hi, congratulations on finishing exams. Thank you for that. Just wondering, what subjects did you do and which ones you found the easiest, hardest, most and least enjoyable, and if you have any advice on each one. Hope all's well." Thank you for that. Okay, this is going to be such a hard question to answer. And you guys have to keep in mind that this is just my personal opinion and every single person will be completely different. So if I say I didn't enjoy something, it doesn't mean you won't. I really hope I don't put people off particular subjects because that would suck because it could turn out to be something that they really enjoy. So I had to actually jot some notes down for this one because I would just not even know where to begin. So in year 12, I did health, studio art, media, business, and English. Last year in year 11, I did exactly the same, but instead of studio art, I did maths, and I quit that because I was horrible at it. So starting with health, I did it through distance ed as it clashed in the same block as media, and I obviously didn't want to ditch media. So I ended up doing distance ed, which means that you get sent a book and then you email through the work that you do each week. At the start of the year, I felt as if this was a great option. I thought, holy crap, there's no teacher like actually talking to me. I get free periods and I can do the work in my own time. And in ways, it was good. Like, it was really nice having an extra free period throughout the week and everything, but it was hard work. It is so difficult not having a teacher teaching you everything. Like, personally, I absorb information from people talking to me. If I read a book, it's gone. Like, I'll read it, the words are just gone. So the fact that that's the whole way I had to learn was just insane. Like, I could barely even remember anything. So personally, I found that the least enjoyable because of it being through distance ed, and I just didn't enjoy the content. Like, honestly, at the start of the year when we're learning about nutrition and stuff, I thought this is great, I really like this, but then we spent like the rest of the year learning about like organizations, and there was just a whole bunch of memorization. It didn't even feel like I was learning anything. I was just memorizing stuff that I wouldn't even like want to know, which just frustrated me, honestly. But if you're really into health, you may really like it, but it probably was like my least exciting class in the first place. So one piece of advice I need to give you about health, no matter how you do it, distance ed or with a teacher, you have to take notes throughout the year, like consistent notes. Don't just skip an area and think I'm going to go back on that. Like, take notes every single class. Everything that they write on the board and as much as they say, try to take down. And then by the time you get to exam time, you already have notes and you don't have to spend that time obviously making notes from scratch because that would be so hard with health. So then you have a lot of time to study it, because honestly, I did the complete opposite. I didn't take notes throughout the year because I didn't have anyone to take notes off, and I know that's kind of not an excuse and I should have anyway, but I just didn't. So I had like a summarized version that they kind of gave me, which I used as notes for exams, but it was just so much harder. Like, the sections that I needed to know didn't need to be in that much detail, so it meant that it took like so much longer to study and I felt like I had so much more to memorize, when I really didn't, because when I got into the exam, it was kind of like, oh, there's so much I didn't need to know. So yes, take notes. Every single class, be consistent with it. And I know that may sound really bad, but in class, like, what else are you going to be doing? Like, you're going to take notes. And if you find it really hard to take notes while the teacher's talking, I suggest that you listen the whole class and then afterwards, in a free period after school, you just write them all out. Like, it's really, really important. I cannot stress that enough. Let's say I've already spoken for 20 minutes. Oh, 5. So now, moving on to studio art. I absolutely loved this class. This was such a good class for so many reasons. I had a fantastic teacher. I've had her since year 7. She is awesome. She's just really interesting and entertaining, and was seriously there the whole year, helping everybody, working extra hours, and just helping us get the best marks possible, which was just awesome. If you're not into folio work or scrapbooking or that type of thing, or bullshitting for that matter, like making up some crap about a painting, like that painting over there, the brown tones with the turquoise bring a contrast and this helps represent the warmth in the boat and just all that type of shit. If you find that to be absolute crap and you don't find it fun at all, don't do it. Like, honestly, you won't enjoy it and it would just be such a waste, and you could be doing something else that you'll really enjoy instead. If you are quite a creative person, I seriously suggest it. Don't look at it and view it as art, because art is a completely different subject to studio art. But the actual theory part of studio art is not very like deep, and it's not very hard, and it's not that hard to memorize. A lot of it was just to do with art gallery, like the temperature that they preserve the paintings in, and you have to annotate like paintings, but like you know them, and you talk about like materials and techniques. Like it's really not hard. I think even if you're not personally like in love with all of it, it's not hard content to memorize. So basically for half the year you trial different materials and techniques and create like a theme and basically plan what you're going to be doing. And then for the rest of the year you're working on your final pieces as you're creating a folio showing every single step that you did for every single piece. So if that sounds like a nightmare for you, I don't suggest it. But if that kind of inspires you and you're thinking of ideas like at this moment, I really suggest you do it. I loved it. I thought it was such a good class. I'm not very artistic at all. I can't draw, I can't paint, but I did photography and it was just so much fun. The main thing is not like the talent that you have. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to do great. It's more that you're consistent and you're passionate about your topic and you just try to display that theme in your pieces in the best way possible. One last tip, if you know you're doing studio art, please do this for me because I didn't do it that well. Constantly work on your folio. Our teacher kept telling us every single night, oh, we had students last year who worked on them every single night. We're thinking, we don't need to do that, like we'll be fine. But then the week coming up to it, you spend like full 48-hour periods just sticking and gluing and you go insane and it's not worth it. You regret it, you don't sleep, and you just go crazy, like crazy. I remember the day my studio art folio was due, I made myself sick from it. I stayed up the full like 24 hours. I didn't sleep the night before it was due at all, and I was becoming really sick, and when I woke up I vomited because I was just really anxious about the outcome and I was just feeling really dead. So please listen to me. Stay organized with it. Like just, I need to drill that into your head. Now moving on to media, I found this to be really, really enjoyable. I really loved it, but that's because I'm personally quite creative and I'm obviously in love with filmmaking and everything because I'm making YouTube videos right now, which is kind of connected. I don't know if it's for everybody, but we did have quite a mix of people in the class. Like it's not like everybody was fully into like film and everything. So I think it is a class that most people could love. Again, you have a folio in this one and you have to make a final product, which is either a film, a magazine, a radio kind of show, or photography, like a series. So if that just sounds horrible to you, I suggest you don't do it. But again, if you're just thinking to yourself, holy crap, that sounds like so much fun, please just do it. I really suggest it. I loved it so much. Here is my final piece thing that I did for my final film in media in case you're interested in seeing it. Okay, I feel like I've been talking ages about this one, so I want to continue. The next one I did was business, which I have done for years. I'm not necessarily in love with it. I don't find everything hugely interesting, but I just think it was really necessary. It was one of those subjects where I thought this is going to be really useful in life because honestly, no matter what path you take, you're most likely going to be working inside a business in some way or another. You'll either be running it or you could be at the bottom or in the middle somewhere. So I think it's really important that you understand large-scale organizations in the best way possible. I just think it's really useful. It's a really good life skill to have. And when I was studying, I was with my dad who actually runs a business, and even he found it useful. So it is really good information that can be used in the rest of your life, not like some of that math stuff that we learn. Are we ever going to use that? Again, with this class, it's one of those classes that if you constantly take notes, you're going to feel fine. Like once it comes up to the exam, you just study from the notes and it's okay. Like it's not hugely hard, but it can be quite difficult throughout the year if you don't understand something and then you move on, because then you look back and you're like, shit, I got to understand that sometime. And then you feel as if you're kind of behind. So I really suggest if you don't understand something during that class, just stay behind and talk to the teacher. I bet you they could explain it to you one-on-one in just a couple of minutes and then you'll feel so much better. So for the last class, English, personally, I didn't enjoy it that much. I found it quite stressful, and it was from a whole number of factors, but personally, I just think it's quite hard. I reckon it was one of my most difficult subjects. Last year, I think my average was like an A, which is awesome. A for awesome. Oh God. And then this year, I got the weirdest marks ever. I got A's, I got D's, I got C's. It was just unpredictable. But one tip that I really suggest, and I wish I did this, well, I don't really regret it because I just tried my best, but it's just one thing. If you really want to do well, I really suggest you do this. I suggest that you read the book as soon as you hear that you finished with that last book. Start reading the next book or watch the next text. Just read it, and if you can, read it twice or 3 times if you have the time. I'm a slow reader, so that would be like really difficult for me. and just study the shit out of it. Basically, even if you're not passionate about it, you don't find it that interesting, just try to find things that kind of inspire you, because then it will be much easier. Also, try to get as much help from possible from all the teachers. Even if you don't personally have a great connection with your teacher, or you don't like them very much, just keep sending them through practice essays and stuff. It's their job. They have to respond to it. And every time you do one, you get better. I noticed that coming up to the exam, I found that I was just getting better and better with my practices, and that was such a good feeling. Anyway, that was the longest answer ever, but I guess it was a really long question, and I really hope that my answer helped you in some way or another. Okay, moving on to the next question. What was the most challenging part of high school? This is such a difficult question to answer, mostly considering you spend so many years in high school. It's hard to kind of pinpoint what it will be, because over the years, what becomes challenging changes. Because at the start of school, you may be more focused on becoming friends with people and possibly fitting in, which isn't that important, by the way. Please don't put too much of a focus on fitting in. I've written dot points here. These are the things that I found the most challenging. I found keeping motivated really challenging. I know most people do, so I'm not alone here, because it's just, if you do something for that long and you're just working on something so hard, you're gonna get bored of it. You're gonna lose motivation, you're not gonna feel like doing it anymore. So I really suggest that you find something else outside of school that makes you happy and that you're passionate about, so that you have something that you can go to that makes you really happy and keeps your mind off all of that, so then when you do finish doing that, you're kind of more motivated to do the school stuff. My thing for this was YouTube. So making these videos, although you guys are probably thinking, shit, she really should be studying more, it did actually help me a lot, because every time I stopped filming, I felt more motivated, because I felt like it was forever since I had done it. Another thing was finding what you're passionate about. Obviously, this could happen in every area of your life. It's not once you get to school, you're I've got to find what I'm passionate about, because it could easily not even be within the subject range or within the environment that you're in. But I found that that was something that I struggled with. I just felt, I gotta move my fingers down, they're getting sore. I just felt as if I couldn't really find anything. I went through these couple of years where I was just I feel like everyone just has something that they love. And honestly, as cheesy as it sounds, that's when I found YouTube and I became more into media and art and that type of stuff. So before then, I just thought, wow, all of my friends are really great at everything and they have stuff that they love, and I'm just sitting here I don't even know if I enjoy the subjects I'm doing. So you eventually find it. I didn't think I would for a while. I thought it was something I'll discover in the future, but I did discover it in about year 11 and 12. When I began filming, I just thought, wow, this is really fun, but I didn't think too much of it. And then as you get into year 12 and people start asking about careers and you begin exploring just options with the future, I just realized what I wanted to do. So JMC, which is the academy that I'm starting at in June, just sounded absolutely perfect to me. So I'm really happy, and I really hope you guys find that passion as well. Another thing that everyone is always going to struggle with is finding a balance between school and personal life. I can't even really suggest any advice for that. Honestly, you kind of discover it on your own. I remember even at the end of the year, I still sometimes struggle with it. I think it's just something that you slowly kind of work out, and sometimes it's harder and sometimes it's easier, but yeah. Some of the stuff that sadly most people going through high school would experience is bullying, which is absolutely awful. I didn't experience it a huge amount. I can't really say I've been through much bullying in my life. I did in primary school, but then it died down. And ever since I've been on YouTube, I've had some sort of stuff, but it's not extremely overwhelming or anything. But seriously, if any of you guys are going through bullying, please let me know. Send me a message either on Facebook, or if you want to be anonymous, on Tumblr, and I will help you. I really want to help you so much. If there's anyone going through anything, if I know that I could even have a slight impact, a positive impact, then I want to help. So please tell me. Again, with any problems, just let me know. And I'm happy to help you one-on-one on Facebook, or just through a video like this. And another main thing that I think every single person would have to deal with is dealing with conflict and bitchiness in groups. I don't think there's any possible way to avoid this, unless you're only friends with one or two people. That will reduce it. But I think the bigger the group, the more bitchiness and conflict and rumors come from it. And I guess that's just something that you have to go through. It helps you learn and discover who you are and who you can trust, and just multiple things. It's kind of almost like a positive experience in a way, because then how else would you discover all these things? Imagine if you didn't experience all of that, and then you came out of high school and then you're around a group and you're kind of whoa, what is all of this? And you feel really lost and weird. It's better to do it young, I reckon.